Berrybark Pages presents The Three Witches Part 2. She stood on the rim of the forest, looking out over the horizon. Overhead, the sky brimmed with stars, the wind whipping through treetops. She may have beaten the whispering demons in retreat, but she knew they were far from defeated. Someday, they would come back biding their time and waiting for a moment when her defenses failed. From that battle, however, Elowen had learned something about herself, her power, and the balance she represented. The next morning, she was to set off to begin the journey to London. Many years had gone by since she had left her sisters behind. Now, the world could be a strange place. The hold of Seraphina upon the dark magic would have gotten much firmer, and Celestia was leading a desperate resistance, trying to stem the tide of chaos. And all this weighed heavily upon Elowen. She had chosen neither for so long, out of fear of what might be the case should she commit to one path or another. But now she realized that her strength came from being both in one, light and dark, good and evil. She was the bridge between her sisters, and it was about time she reminded them of that balance they once shared. Elowen raised her hand, and a portal tore open before her, the air shimmering with a pathway to London as it revealed to her the foggy streets of the town. The winds howled, and as she stepped through, she could feel tension in the air, the magic of her sisters crackling like electricity. This was no longer war. This was devastation. London was under siege. She reached the middle of the city, and streets that once bustled lay in ruin. Scorched buildings stood with empty, shattered windows. The sky above was unnaturally dark. Seraphina's magic had permeated everywhere, swirling clouds of black smoke and flickering fire of green. And powerful too, the presence of Celestia was. The air was a golden glow. Flowers sought to heal destruction by bursting into bloom. It hadn't taken them long to sense her arrival. Seraphina turned up first, tunic billing behind her, eyes alive with malice. "Well, well," she sneered, words low and hissing from her lips. "The sister who hides. Have you finally chosen a side, Elowen? Or are you here to play peacemaker?" Celestia appeared a few seconds later, her shimmer of light dispelling the sudden murk. "Elowen, please, they need to stop this craziness. Seraphina should not be terrorized anymore." The tension within the three was palpable, each holding off the storm of magic roiling inside them. But Elowen did nothing to strike or to defend. Instead, she stood between them, her voice level, yet firm. "This war will destroy everything if it does continue," she said. "Seraphina, you've let your thirst for power blind you, and Celestia, your desire of peace has made you weak to what's coming. Both of you so focused on your own paths that neither of you can see the greater threat." Seraphina snorted, but Elowen raised a hand for silence. "While you've been waging war here, something darker is stirring in the world. The whispering demons have woken in New Zealand, and they are far more dangerous than any of us. They feed on our division, on our extremes." Celestia's face had gone pale. "The whispering demons? I thought they were a myth." "They're real and they're coming," Elowen replied. Her gaze turned diamond hard. "If we don't unite, if we don't find balance between light and dark, they will tear this world apart." Seraphina cocked an eyebrow. "And you think you can stop them? You, who could never choose a side?" Elowen stepped forward, her aura shifting, both darkness and light coursing through her. "I don't have to choose. I am the balance, and I am the only one who can stop them." For the first time, Serafina stumbled, her bravado breaking for an instant. Celestia's face gentled. Realization came into her eyes. The sisters had framed their power as a dichotomy all along. One had to win, the other had to lose. But Elowen's power was something else entirely. "We need each other," Elowen said, all in a rush. "All three of us. Light, dark, and all that falls between. Only together can we stop what is to come." There was silence for a very long time. Serafina, with all her cruelty, could not deny the truth of words said by Elowen. Celestia, though she longed for peace, knew her sister's darkness had a place in the world. And Elowen stood in the middle of it all, the key to balance. Finally, Serafina exhaled in a slow hiss. "All right, sister," she said. "I will fight beside you, for the moment. But this does not change things between us." Celestia smiled faintly. "That's a start." Standing abreast, the three sisters' magic mingled for the first time in years. The coming battle with demons would be fierce, the end uncertain. Sure was one thing, though. This was only just the beginning of their biggest adventure. The real struggle, however, was never between light and dark, but within themselves, and only through such acknowledgement did they have any hope of saving the world from the darkness pressing before them.